The players have decided to go out just to the outskirts of the town that is surrounding the spatial temple, and they've constructed a large campfire there for them to rest and recoup at. It's actually nighttime, by the way. Shut up, Skype! It's actually nighttime right now, and you're actually each of you is actually sitting on one of the colossal gem encrusted, or rather gem made of chests, and Snarg's there, Guido's there. Fierce Seal's not there. She's still in her room. She's basically not joining you people. The elementals, excuse me, that are in the diamond chest are still there and present and dancing around. And I'm just gonna leave it there and mute myself.
Okay, so by this point, we're a couple hours. You can nod your head, brother, out from where we were previously. Correct? Nod your head, or yes or no. We're
Meanwhile, on the airplane.
Can you nod your head, yes or no? We're about a couple of hours out from the end of the battle. Okay, so we're about a couple of hours out from the end of the battle. This whole time, there's been this little flame that's just kind of it's been flitting back and forth between you guys. It started off when we first got to the spatial temple. It just kind of hung out with Snarg for a while. It batted his ears and his whiskers and kind of poke at your nostrils and stuff. And it was still very loosely shaped. It never really held a form. And since we've been back and settled down at the campfire, it's just kind of it played with the ice elementals for a little while, and with Z's flame elemental for a little while. It actually taught the ice elementals to play patty cake, so the ice elementals are now doing this thing with themselves. You get the feeling that it's able to communicate with them. You think. You're not entirely certain. It's now over, and it's currently poking at Guido.
Angrily or just playfully?
I'd say just kind of playfully. If you're ignoring it, it's going to start getting more insistent, and you're actually going to start feeling the heat from it through your armor. I'm assuming your armor is still on.
Oh, yeah. I would say my helm is off, but yeah, I haven't taken my armor off. I'll poke playfully back.
It's going to try to play patty cake with you if you're poking at it. So it's got like two little tendrils, and it's like putting one up and then just kind of holding it there. And when you don't do anything, it starts smacking at you again. So it pokes you with that one, and then another one pops up, and so it's got the one that's right here, and it comes back. So it's got like two little things, and then the other one just kind of goes like this, and then just kind of sits there.
So.
And when you do nothing, it starts smacking at you.
I'm going to take my gauntlets off.
Okay.
And holding. Hold on. There.
Thanks for that.
What are you holding? Oh, you're holding.
Oh, I thought you were putting those on your ears for a second. What?
Okay.
Actual like motorcycle gloves, gauntlets.
Okay, so
Poke.
the little
Poke.
flame thing is like,
Poke.
and it gets mad at you when you're doing this thing just over and over again, back and forth, and it gets mad at you, and it swats at both of them at the same time, and as it swats at them, it just kind of, it's fire, so it just kind of grows over them, and of course your gauntlets are metal, so they get kind of hot to the touch, like really hot to the touch, but it doesn't actually burn them. Heats up in a couple of areas. I don't remember what your gauntlets are made of.
Steel, I think.
Okay, so yeah, you can see where it's not really like molten levels, but you can see where the metal is starting to soften, where it's getting that warm. It's not actually hot where your hands are, it's just hot where the flame is, but it's like the flames are like really angry at it.
So
And then
I'll
it
take.
stops and it pulls back and it shows you again and it goes.
So I've got the gauntlets off, but they're laying on top of my
Yeah, I
hand.
caught that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so it's like, and then it holds the other one out.
basically, I'm doubling my fingers.
Yeah, I caught that.
Yeah. I'm interacting. It's just
Okay,
being silly.
Are you going to actively interact the way it's wanting you to, or are you going to continue to be belligerent?
Yes.
This is important. That's a yes or no. That's not a yes answer.
Well,
Are you going to interact the way it wants you to?
eventually, yes.
Okay,
I'll
it's going
play
to do
along.
this. It's going to do this like 2 more times, and if you don't interact, I need to know
Okay.
if within 2 more times if you're going to interact the way it wants you to.
So the
You can
second
tell
to
what it
last
wants you to
time
do because you
is
just watched it teach the ice elementals how to do it.
the second to last time is the gauntlet on top of the hand and
Okay.
doing the like double finger, and then if it's giving the I'm gonna say angry reaction, fine, I'll do the thing.
Okay, and then it's gonna get excited and it's gonna like leap up and it's just gonna kind of engulf your head. And it just kind of whooshes around your ear, and you actually feel like you can hear the flame crackling and snapping, like fire does, in very rhythmic sounds, like us trying to talk. And brother, I'm
Like
going to send you a
Morse
text. I need to know
code?
something. No, just like
Okay.
okay, when we talk, there's rhythms and there's patterns to the vocalizations that we use. That's how we
Right.
come to understand what sounds are what letters, and recognize speech patterns. You can tell it's trying to do something like the snaps and the crackles are very distinct. Think baby talk, like Jaina style before she really started to properly enunciate. I haven't sent the text yet. You can stop staring at your phone. Oh, okay. So, it's you can clearly tell it's doing something very purposefully,
Okay.
possibly in an attempt to communicate, but you don't have a clue what it's saying. I suppose I can put my dice up now.
Trying to think if there's anything I can use for trying to figure out a way of communicating.
Well, have you tried talking?
Why would I do something as simple as that? Come on.
Elementals can't talk. It's responded. It has visibly responded in varying different ways depending on the tones and mental state of the people that it's been around recently. You saw that with Fear to Seal twice. Snarg, you saw the flame be very what appeared to be supportive, sympathetic. Yeah, I don't know how to phrase this, but it was when you went in there to pat her on the shoulder and it batted at your hand the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It was actively kind of like wrapped around Fear Nasil's neck. Like a comforting, like it was trying to hug her. When Fear Nasil got angry at Ricard, it lashed out at Ricard. When Guido's sword was being mocking toward it, it was mocking back in a very flamey and discordant way that you probably didn't recognize. And let's see what else has happened.
Yeah, I don't remember any kind of reaction to
Yeah, I
when
don't think
was...
Brother actually got I don't think Brother actually got the text in time.
Okay. Yeah, he was just saying the sword went through the flame. So
the response that I sent to Brother, which I don't know how he would have done it back. So you said, the sword's all like na 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 na, and my response to that was, a face sticks its tongue out at the sword from inside the flame.
So maybe
Although
awareness
you can't really tell
roll
it's a
to
face.
see if there was any kind of if we noticed.
Sure. Brother, determine a DC. Hold up the number of fingers.
Oh, that's a lot.
Guido's
so natural
never
20.
going to get it.
Well,
I didn't roll a natural 20. Oh, wait. No, that doesn't matter.
oh, well.
What did you say, Oni?
20?
20,
Oh,
okay.
well, auto succeeded.
Marshall auto
wait.
succeeds.
That's... Yeah.
Do you have a 20?
I rolled exactly a 20.
Woohoo!
Hey.
9 on the D20, a 1 on the D4, and I have a plus 10.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So you're both aware of the fact that the flame has been actively interacting with people based off. You might not be able to tell if it's based off of just their body language and their tone and their current mental state. Elementals will react to that sort of thing when they're young. This one's very obviously young. You think?
Question.
Go ahead.
Did Z ever say anything about what it was that gave her the fire affinity?
Yeah, she actively told you guys about her tattoo. I believe she even showed Snarg her tattoo when they were drunk with Zeiss.
Oh, yeah, but I don't remember that, so.
Oh yeah, because we rolled, and Zeiss is the only one that remembered everything. You and I were, well, I mean, I have a perfect memory, but yeah. Evens or odds, Guido?
Odd.
Okay, yes. She at some point told you that she had a tattoo which masked her desolation and made her appear to have a fire affinity. Okay.
I'm going to attempt to draw Z's tattoo in the ground, in just the dirt.
Okay. Which one? She had two.
The one that she mentioned giving the fire affinity.
She was incapable of showing you that one because of
Well, okay.
Well, it's location 1 and 2. The secondary tattoo that she had that did the switch thing that made her turn into the little boy. Yeah. Actually, that one covered it. Well, it went more than that. It went across her. But the one that did her affinity was like right here.
Okay.
And then this one went like this.
So I'm assuming when she mentioned the tattoo, she would have described it in some of...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
what it looks like, I don't have a clue. It looks cool.
I'm going to redraw the that she described.
Okay. Okay.
And see if the fire elemental thing reacts.
I have to ask a question. Roll a d20.
Okay.
What is it?
Well, what's... I mean, do I get a
rolling
skill?
To figure out how good you're doing, how good your drawing is.
Okay.
To the real thing.
Wisdom on that?
I'd just say a flat d20.
If it's craft, then it is...
Diet dirt.
Oh, actually, I don't remember what that is. I think it's...
I sent you...
I think it's
yes,
Wiz.
Okay. well, never mind. It doesn't matter. I rolled a 20, so the flame recognizes what you're drawing.
Oh, yay.
But I do need to know what your number is.
Well,
To
so
know how
with my
bad it is.
D4,
Okay.
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
Um,
The flame is actually going to go behind you, and it's going to like move stuff, and it's going to like do this thing over the top of it, and then it's going to sit there, and it's going to get very meticulous for a little bit, and it's going to roll a d20 and have it roll off the thing, and it's going to roll a 3, so this looks even worse.
Are you two painting over there or something?
And then it's going to like step away from it once it's done, and it's going to look up at you, and it's going to nod. Like the whole top of the flame just goes like this, and then it just sits there and looks at you.
Okay. Snarg?
Starting to finish his drink and go over there. It's like, you decide to get into painting or something? You two? I've actually got something.
Do you remember Z's tattoo?
Z, when we were in Arwick, were you with us?
When we were where?
In Arwick.
Where's Arwick?
That's the fairy town.
Yeah, I was.
I actually have a painting of you.
But you
I'm
would not have
there-
a painting of my tattoo because it was hidden. She never
was
had it
hidden.
visible.
Okay. I was going to say, I've got a painting of the group playing cards in Arwick.
Okay.
But
Evens or odds?
evens.
You do not remember what my tattoo is, but you do know I have 2 of them. And you knew what their purpose was.
No. I was like, I don't know what that is. What are you drawing? Some type of symbol or something?
So Z had a tattoo that masked her elemental affinity.
Mm-hmm.
The flame is
Or
like
lack
playing with your
of?
ears again, Snarg.
Hey, you like
I-
shiny stuff?
No, your ears.
I know.
Are your ears
I'm asking.
shiny?
No. I'm asking the elemental.
Oh, okay. If it likes shiny stuff.
Mm-hmm. It pulls out a ruby. Dark red ruby.
You can feel it stop batting at your ears, but it doesn't actually pay much attention to the ruby, and then it goes back to batting at your ears.
Okay, I guess not.
No clue what you were trying to do there.
No, I don't.
At this point, I need both of you to roll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't catch that. Regardless, it's not interested in shiny things. I need both of you to roll a d20.
Hang on. Use a nice big red one. How about that?
Okay.
I got an 18.
Guido.
So 16.
Okay, you both hear in your head, you hear this really, really, really faint voice. You're not even certain you heard it, and it just goes, "Idiot." About
Look
the
around.
point that Snarg pulls out the little ruby.
Was this clearly a mental thing, or is it more of a you just hear
You're
it?
not certain.
All right. Look around a bit.
Snarg.
Uh-huh.
Z had this tattoo thing that
Right.
masked her lack of elemental affinity.
Right.
I think this elemental was infused into the tattoo.
Really? Is that right?
And the flame just kind of goes down and gets on the ground, and I need to roll to see how well it can write. Brother, that's an 11. I'm trying to write.
Here, look. Do you want something? Here, I got an idea. Oh, okay. I got an idea. I've got a magic item. A quill of wise words.
What's it do?
It basically improves whatever you write.
Okay, is that going to
Sounds-
work, brother? Okay,
Like, here, just try this.
so you
You're gonna
drop
write
it
something.
into the flame, and the flame just kind of wraps around it, and it goes, "No." And that's what it writes. And it turns and it points a tendril up at Guido, and then it points the tendril back down at the dirt where it just wrote the word "no." And then it just kind of looks at you, and it looks like it's chuckling. It's just kind of, the flames are just kind of spasmically doing this thing.
Well, where'd you come from? I mean, you just popped up in the middle of nowhere.
Snarg, it starts snapping and crackling very loudly in very purposeful manner.
You're a fire elemental. I mean, good job.
Sadly, I know we're out of character.
I know.
Where this is
I know.
going, and I
There's
can't
like just
bring
no way in
myself
character I
to
can be like, ding.
exactly.
No,
Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. I'm liking us learning this because I told you. I told Marshall. This is all cut. I'm assuming, but I told Marshall I'm going to need you guys to. It's going to take a while, and I'm going to need you guys to teach me how to be what I need to be again.
Mm-hmm.
So take as much time as you need. Regardless, both of you, in answer to Snarg's question and both of your obvious not understanding of what I'm saying, the fire elemental is going to turn around with the quill and it's going to write out, "I've always been here, dummy." Oh, hush.
That's a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
By the way, what I'm doing whenever I'm having you guys roll a d20 is I'm just rolling an opposed. And if you guys meet or go above it, then it's a success. And if you don't, then it's not. It's easier to keep track of on my head that way. So keep rolling your d4 with it, Guido. You need it.
Okay, I was going to ask.
Now keep rolling your d4 with it. You need it.
Yeah.
This dice rolls really well. This is the consistent one that I got the high rolls on whenever I was still having to roll to hit.
It's Araguna.
Oh, no.
Guido's gonna die.
So I don't think so. No.
No.
What's
No.
your guys' response to "I've always been here, dummy"?
You joined up when we all got together? Is that what you're saying? You came here with someone?
It turns around and it goes, "I joined up with you no, it's going to say, "I met up with you outside of town." It's going to write it out, obviously.
Well, unless you're fearing to seal, the only other person I know who we met up with town was Z.
Kezrin, too. Yeah.
Don't remember that. Yeah, Kezrin. Okay. Kezrin or Z?
Yep, Kezrin, Z, and Fear and Seal.
You came with one of them? I know they'd like to keep elementals around.
And it's going to ignore that question. It's going to pop up and say, "Why are you looking at me so weird? And when did you get so tall?" It's going to point to Guido with the "when did you get so tall?"
Okay, here's paper. So we have a recorded transcript of this conversation of "No, you idiot. No, you idiot."
Dummy.
This is the worst breakup letter I've ever seen. Right.
Right.
Guido, this elemental seems a little bit touched in the head. I mean, it's been hanging around with Gerlin. Maybe it was all screwed up from that because that's where we first saw it. I mean, as far as I know,
are you saying this out loud? I'm assuming.
Well, yeah. I mean, kind of to a side.
It's going to pop up and say, "Yes, thank God he's dead."
No. Right. I mean,
I
we
tried to
get
hit him
that.
with everything and it's just madly scribbling while you guys are talking. Yes, thank God he's dead. I tried to hit him with everything I had, but I ran out of mana, and then I could just smack him, and that was hard, and I couldn't see, and it hurt. And it's run out of room on the paper.
So now,
Because it's
just
not
to be
writing
clear,
very smoothly, so it's kind of big and
is all of that clear enough,
that you can
or
read it. Yeah, it's just very large.
okay?
Wait. No way. Come here. I'm holding up the palm of my hand.
Ran out of mana.
Yeah, it hops up on your hand, and it just sits there, and you notice it's slowly starting to kind of have a form, and it
Yeah.
looks almost like it's got hands on it. It looks almost like it's standing with its hands on its hip, and one of the flames where a foot should be is just kind of bouncing up and down on your palm.
Tinkerbell? Sorry.
Based on my elemental knowledge, I mean, are there any elementals at all that ever act like this, or is this just completely? This is not almost not an elemental.
You can roll knowledge elements on it again.
Pretty high. Like a 30 or something.
30 something.
Oh yeah, 30 exactly. Like, wait, now this isn't a normal elemental. It's if I didn't know any better, it's acting just like Z. Does it have her memories or something? I mean, I don't know how her whole thing works.
It just
so-
smacked you in the face.
Ow. Yeah, it's definitely a lot like Z.
It just smacked you in the
What?
face again.
She was vaporized.
Well, that's what I thought too. And it appears she still was.
Is there more paper on the ground?
I have a painting kit. I have a lot of paper.
Okay. It just hopped back on the ground and it blows. It moves the sheet that it filled up out of the way, and then it hops down and it grabs the quill, and it goes, "What are you talking about? I'm not vapor. I'm right here."
I don't know how to. Well, should we show her, Guido? Or it, whatever, you are muted.
Show me what?
I guess we should.
Does anybody have a mirror?
I have a shield.
I think Z has a mirror in her bag, and you guys have seen all the contents of my bag.
Didn't her bag get
She-
vaporized?
No, it was in the diamond chest,
Ah, okay.
along
just
with
no-
Colson's bag of holding.
Great. All right. Well, I'll stomp over and not stomp over. I'll walk over and ruffle around and get the mirror and bring it back and say, well, Z, whatever you are, just take a look.
And it turns around, it looks, and you can tell the flame's kind of considering it a little bit. And it turns around and it says, "What? This is what I look like. What's wrong?"
Well, just a little while back, you looked like this. And I'm assuming the painting actually, even though you're hidden, it still shows you on it, right? So,
Yeah, and I took my cloak off before we went in there to keep from appearing intimidating. I remember that.
this is what you looked like. I mean, this is what I painted of you just a couple weeks back. Or months back. I forget how long it was, but
And it's not going to have. The flame is going to look at it, and it's going to look at it, and it's going to say, "Turn around and write on the paper. Who's that?"
well, that's who I know as Z.
That's not me.
Well,
Are you?
Wait,
Have
wait.
you been smoking something? It actually writes that. Did you get
some
more of that lacite, the fake lacite? No, you had crispy critters. You kept some crispy critters and you didn't share them with me.
no,
Uh,
you didn't want
You
crispy
didn't
critters
want
last
any.
time.
What are you talking about? Crispy critters are delicious.
Yeah, whatever this, it's got a
Imposter.
memory somehow, but they're all They're all fragmented or something. She doesn't remember who she was. She doesn't remember that she didn't want crispy critters.
What do you mean I don't remember who I was? This has always been me.
Uh, Z, what's the last thing you remember before Garland hit you? Or after Garland hit you, sorry.
So Z, flame Z fire elemental thing kind of turns around and it scribbles on the paper, and it starts to write something and then it scribbles it out, and it starts to write something else and it scribbles it out. The first word it started to write, it was HOM, and then it scribbled it out. The second word was it got shit. Where am I from? What's that region called? Okay, so she starts to write, GLEN, scribble, scribble, scribble. And she goes, I was someplace nice. And then there was Garland, and he stepped on you. And that was mean, and so I hit him. And she's saying this to you, Snarg.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate that. That hurt a lot.
I tried. It didn't seem to do much. I'm not sure why. Maybe because my strength is, kind of small.
Well, what happened after that? What do you remember happening then?
Well, I don't know how, but I blew up the room with fire.
Oh. We thought that was Garland doing that.
No, I'm pretty sure that was me.
Would explain why I didn't take any damage.
Mm-hmm.
You too?
Oh, no.
I didn't take any damage.
I mean, it was a little warm, but...
I don't think I got hit that entire fight. I mean, other than that one where he tried to smush me through the wall. That was weird. I'm glad that didn't hurt me too bad.
I do know it does hurt, yeah.
Yeah,
I got it in the face.
It really hurt a lot at first, and then I felt great.
One of my healing things must have gone off.
Oh no.
Are you trying to lie to me, Guido?
It's gonna look
Sadly.
like you know
Okay,
that's
would
not.
you like to roll deception against me?
Nope. There's no point.
I was about to say that's a good thing because that's a 38.
Yeah, I have a +9. There's no way I can beat you unless I roll a natural 20, and I know that. So if you want to roll against that, you're welcome to, but you know it's not true.
Yeah. So Z turns around and the flame turns around and it looks at you, and then it turns back to the paper and it writes, "Don't bother trying to lie to me. You know you'll fail at that." I didn't need heals. See? I'm fine. And then it sits there and it kind of holds out two little tendrils like this.
Mm-hmm.
That picture that I sent you
Yes.
in Skype, that's what the flame is starting to look like now. It's not really a solid form or anything, but you can kind of see a face in it a little bit, and there's distinct limbs. It's got 4 limbs, and it's kind of bright. When you look at it, it's hard to see the limbs, but when you start focusing at it, you get used to looking at it. You can kind of see like facial features almost. There's hands, You can almost tell, see individual fingers and feet. And you can tell, as it's moving around, it's actually like walking. It's not creeping along like flame like it was previously.
Sorry, I'm getting a nasty email.
That's not good. I got one of those too. I ignored it. I'll read it tomorrow when I get to work.
Well, do you have any plans for what you wanted to do after we defeated Garlandzy?
I was thinking we should have some tea. Do you guys want some tea? Has anybody seen my bag?
It's right over there.
Yeah, didn't you just pull the mirror out?
Mm-hmm.
So
That bag's too big for you, though. How can it be your bag?
What are you talking about? That's the size my bag's always been.
How did you carry it?
It's a bag of holding. It just fits. How do you think we get all the stuff inside? Do I have to roll strength to get my teapot out? What's the DC?
50.
15? Nope. I rolled a 6. That makes it an 11. So you see the flame is it's just kind of wrapped around it, just like that, and it's like.
I look over to Snarg. Did you want to give her a hand?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll pick it up with 2 fingers.
And so Z's just kind of trailing along behind it, and this is my special one that Colson made me that auto heats up and auto fills up with water.
Mm-hmm.
So Z's gonna kind of let go. She's gonna drop down. She's gonna go back to her bag and she's gonna roll strength to get a teacup out, and that was a 1. So she's doing the same thing with the teacup.
Maybe you should get the cups, Guido.
I will very gently pick up the cups.
Okay, Z's not gonna drag along with the cups. She's gonna try to get a tea bag, but she has to get the lid off because they're all loose leaf teas. How much do I have to get the lid off of one of my airtight sealed containers? Oh, good. I rolled a 20. I rolled a 15 and my strength is a 5, so I have a 20 exactly. So she fights with it and she pops one open and she gets the measuring cup and she scoops out some and she comes walking back with it and she lifts up the lid on the teapot. I'm assuming I don't have to roll strength to lift the lid off. Dumps the tea in there into the water as it's doing its thing, puts the thing back on, goes back over to it. And it's actually harder to get those lids on than it is to get them off. So she's fighting with putting the lid back on.
Here. Seems a little big for you, Z. Huh.
What are you talking about? This is a standard, and she goes back and she's writing all this down. This is a standard 2-ounce loose leaf tea thing. I've always had this. I bought it, and she's going to list out the day and the time and the place.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's have tea, huh?
Okay. She fails at putting the, I don't think a 25 is, even if I rolled max, I don't think a 25 would be high enough to pick up a full teapot.
And I mean, I'll still hold the teapot, so you can at least pour it. I want to see how you handled the cup, though.
She just kind of dunks the top of her flame into it.
Can elementals actually drink? You're just making slurping sounds in it?
No, she's crackling in it. It's actually kind of sizzling because it's flame into water.
Uh-huh.
So it's like psst, psst, psst.
Well, this is lovely. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to roll deception against me? Actually, you know what? Z is going to roll diplomacy on you, too.
Okay. This is like an opposed thing?
Sure.
I mean,
Z's going to roll diplomacy on you two. That she's great. This is just how she is. This is her shape. This is how she's always been. Luckily for you guys, I rolled a 10. That makes this a 26. I think you're both capable of beating that.
Yes, but I didn't.
Neither did Guido.
23.
So
You know
yeah,
what? Wait a minute. No.
Okay. This is an
I'm gonna use.
outrageous thing for you guys. So I mean, GM.
I mean, it's like I guess it's just one of those things where a friend just died and this thing comes back. It's like, hey, I'm actually Z. It's just like stab, 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 stab deeper into the wound, because he doesn't actually believe it's really Z.
Yeah.
I can use my social action point.
You could.
Good.
Why not? I mean,
At this point.
yeah. Okay, that's 28. So.
Okay, so yeah, Guido, you sit there and you're trying to reason with Z, and at some point along the lines, you're like, "Look, you're an elf," and Z says, "Yes," and you say, "This is what elves look like," and you actually pull out Z's drawing book, her little sketch pad where she's been sketching.
Oh yeah, I forgot she had that.
Mm-hmm. So you pull that out and you show it to her and you're like, "Look, this is what elves look like." And you grab her mirror in the other hand and you say, "This is what you look like. You're an elf. You're not an elf." And Z comes back and the flame actually kind of shrinks down a little bit. Like she's still that shape, but the big giant flamey hairy tendril things that have been going up all around her just kind of shrink down, and the fire actually dims down to where it's a darker color. Less bright yellow crackles, more just like the orange red color. And she goes over to the paper and she says, "Well, what does that mean?"
I look over to Snarg. That's what we're trying to figure out.
I don't know.
It means you're not you anymore.
What do you mean I'm not me? This is the only me I've ever been.
But it's not. You're a new you.
And the flame just kind of sits there. And the two little ice elementals and the tiny little flame elemental that's like a phoenix comes down, and they kind of sit down next to her, and like the little ice elementals kind of hook arms around each other to like they're hugging it. This is about the point that you notice that, compared to the ice elementals, which are now like 2 feet tall, I think is what we decided, or like a foot tall. They're like this big. The flame's like this big.
So how big was it before? Was it the same size as the other elementals, or has it always been the half size?
You get the feeling that its core size has always been this size, which is also weird because Snarg, you would know this. Elementals, when they're born, they start off small, but as they learn and as they grow, they get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
They get smarter too, but they get bigger. That's actually one of their defining traits, and so. You're really certain now, correct me if I'm wrong though, that this is not an elemental, that whatever right. This flame that's claiming to be Z is, it's clearly not an elemental at all.
Right. You kind of figured that out near the beginning when I checked it out on my palm. I don't know. It's possible it really is Z. I mean, there's a whole lot about her condition and desolation we don't really know. Heck, maybe getting blasted by Garland and vaporized.
Z walks over. Z walks over to the sketchbook, to the sketchbook and to the portrait that are both still out. And she sits there and she flips through the sketchbook pages and she goes over to the portrait and she comes back over to you and she how are you sitting, Guido? You have a full plate armor on. I'm assuming you can't sit like Indian style in that.
No,
So on your
I was assuming I was sitting on like the diamond chest or something.
okay,
So using
So
it as a bench.
it climbs up onto your lap, Guido, and as it's standing there, its shape kind of morphs a little bit, and as you're looking at it, it starts to look like it starts to look distinctly more humanoid. The flaming tendrils are still there, but underneath it, it starts to look humanoid. And then it develops almost a face. And as you're looking at it, you get the distinct impression that this is starting to look. Let's see. This is starting to look like. We're going to say it's starting to look like Javan. Like a fairy. Like you're looking at it and you really think that's not Z, that's Javan is what you're seeing. You're not seeing Z, you're seeing Javan. And on the paper it looks at you for a while and it just kind of stands there and then it hops down, maintaining the form, and it goes over to the paper and it goes, "Is this what I'm supposed to look like?"
That's not what you used to. I mean, I suppose you changed form so much there wasn't anything that you were supposed to look like, but you
Okay.
normally kept to that.
The flame like runs over, still maintaining the Javan form, and it climbs up in Snarg's lap, and it looks at you really hard. And as it's looking at you, Snarg, it starts to look like you.
Oh, hello, handsome.
And it runs back down to the paper, and it writes on the paper, "So I need to look like this." And it turns and it looks up at you expectantly.
If that's what you want to look like.
I mean, you look like whatever you want to look like. I mean, there's not anything you're supposed to look like. You just look like yourself, right?
And it writes on the paper, "Is this what it means to be an elf?"
That's a knoll. An elf looks like I'm sure there's sketches and stuff of elves there, so elf kind of looks like that, big pointy ears, and describe an elf.
Okay, so as you're talking, the Snarg features kind of stay and it develops pointy ears, still with like fur and everything on them.
Well, that's interesting. I always wondered what that would look like.
And so it looks up at you and it shakes its head no.
Not quite. Lose the knoll. The knoll parts, the fur and the.
Okay,
and
so
you have
the
two
ears
sets too
shrink
many
in
ears.
and the fur kind of goes away and the tail goes away. And so now you're looking at a very indistinct, with no facial features, human.
No, you don't want to look like one of those. Trust me. No. Z normally look like. I'll actually just start describing her adult form, as much as I can.
Okay.
Well, there's drawings in the sketchbook.
But none of Z.
I thought you had. What was Coulson? Coulson was an elf, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I
on.
thought you had like a picture of him or something.
probably. Z's sketchbook. Let's see what I got in here.
Oh shoot! I can't believe I forgot to try this. Does this Z respond to mental speech?
Have you tried?
I'm trying right now.
Okay, what are you saying?
Just Charles.
Charles.
No. Testing. Just hello. Can you hear this? Oh, I hope your Valsenball ticket wasn't obliterated.
Ah! And the flame like jumps up and it's like, yeah, and it goes and it dives into the bag of holding, and stuff just starts coming out of the bag of holding.
Well, it's still
I'm not
excited
going to
about
say anything.
Valsenball.
Yeah.
Eventually, Z Flame is going to come out with it, and it's going to be jumping up and down, holding what you think is the Valsen Ball season VIP season pass. And it's going to run over to you, Snarg, and it's going to like engulf you in your head. Well, no, you can talk just fine through it. It's just fire.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just fire.
It's
Okay,
just
you can talk just fine through the fire. It's okay. I'm badly burned, but I can talk just fine.
Brother, how long is it going to take me to be able to talk? We'll roll for it. It was a 20. Can I talk yet? Okay. So as it's like huggling you, you start hearing the rhythmic snapping and crackling that you were hearing earlier. And in the midst of it, you go, "Oh my God, I'm so excited. I forgot all about going to this." In a very snappy, crackly, flamey type sound.
Oh. Well, yeah, I don't know if she'll let you in like this, but...
What? They won't let me in? What do you mean they won't let me in? I want to go. I totally want to go. Oh my God, what do you mean? And it runs over and it can't tell that you can actually understand it. So it's like scribbling on the paper while it's saying all of this. Guido, you can roll awareness to see if you can hear me. Or if you're just catching mad crackling, snapping, popping. I rolled a 20, so I'm very loud.
I rolled a 2 on the D20 and a 2 on the D4. I'm pretty sure
You're getting lots of snapping and crackling. And the writing is actually so bad that you can only sort of read it because it's so excited scribbling, even with the quill pen.
This diamond chest is really sparkly, and in the firelight here, the like orange glowing off of it. Wow, that's really cool. Hey, Snarg, have you seen this?
I have seen fire before.
Sorry, what? Didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, normally they don't let Well, actually, no, if they'd let elementals in, who knows? But yeah, I mean, you still look like a nondescript, flaming elf. No offense to elves.
And okay, so the flame's gonna kind of sit back after it gets done. After it gets done scribbling that and hears you say that, and it's just gonna kind of sit down, and it's gonna think really hard, and it's gonna look up at you, and it's gonna like climb in your lap, Snarg, and it's gonna get up next to you, and it's gonna go, "How'd you get so big?"
I'm actually not very big for a gnoll, but I don't know. Always eat your fish.
And drink your water.
And drink your water. That's very important. Eat your fish and drink your water. Here, you want some water?
Can they actually see your camera, brother?
I'm dumping it on the fire elemental. Well, fire elemental.
So Z Flame is going to think about it, and she's going to think really, really hard about being bigger, and she's going to roll a 16 thinking about really hard about being bigger. Is that good enough to get bigger? How much bigger? I gained 2 inches from a 16. Oh. I was about to say, fuck you. 2 inches? I'm only 6 inches tall. Okay, so as the flame is kind of sitting on you, you really do. I have weight too, don't I? Now at this point, relatively like a pound or two, something that would be a noticeable sitting on your shoulder. So Snarg, as Z is just kind of sitting on your shoulder, you don't really feel anything at first, but you kind of catch sight out of the corner of your eye of a flame just kind of growing kind of down your chest as her legs are getting longer. And as it's happening, you feel just the slightest of pressures on your shoulder and a tugging on your ear. As she's like, and Guido, what you see is same same image as the original one that I sent you there, only now instead of being 6 inches tall, it's like 2.5 feet tall, and it's grabbing onto like Snarg's head to hold itself onto his shoulder because it's actually a little bit too big to be sitting on its shoulder right now. And it says, "Well, now I'm bigger. Will they let me in?" Guido, do you want to roll to see if you can hear me again? I'm bigger now. I'm louder.
Well, 17.
Yeah, I'd say you
So-
hear that.
Or
So
no,
you
actually,
hear-
that's unnatural 20. So yeah, I'm hearing you.
So you hear the flame say, "Well, I'm bigger now. Will they let me in like this?"
Amazing. Same roll.
Uh,
Arch, what do I need to roll to move one of the chests? 18? Okay. So I go over to the chest that is beside Snarg, and I'm trying to push it closer, and I'm failing, but you can see what I'm trying to do. And I look up at Z and I say, when you can sit on this and your feet can touch the ground, then you can get in.
Okay. So the flame elemental hops off of Snarg's shoulder and onto the chest, and it dangles its feet down, and it's trying very hard to reach the floor. I don't know how tall these things are. How much more do I have left to go?
Must be this tall to ride this ride.
Got it. Well, I rolled a 1. So I fall off the chest because I'm trying so hard to reach the ground. I'm assuming I'm about at my 3 feet, 2.5, 3 feet tall. I'm about as tall as this chest is. Not even.
Chest is 6 feet tall?
No, they're a lot bigger than I thought they were.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I was thinking like a 3 foot tall by 4 foot wide by 2 foot deep.
Yeah, but they're magic, so we've got bags of holding.
Got it. So little 3 foot tall Z is going to turn up to you, and she's going to put her hands on her hips, and she's going to go, "I'm never going to be that tall. That's impossible."
So,
Well, no. Everything grows. I mean, you seem to have hit a little growth spurt here, so you could get bigger.
So Z is she's gonna change tactics. She's gonna go sit in front of her sketchbook again, and she's gonna find a reasonable sized sketch in there. Which on page 33 there are pictures of some elven children. And as you are, do you want a link? So you guys can see too. There you go.
sure.
There's a link. As you're watching, she sits there and she stares at it, and the little boy with the sword on the right. She starts to look like him. Clothes, shoes, and little wooden sword and all.
Oh, hey, that's a lot closer.
Down to the finest detail. She's still only 3 feet tall.
Well, I mean, yeah. So maybe could
And
pass for a very young
her
child.
hair is still kind of flamey. So like as it's sitting there, you see how it's shaped as it's sitting there, rather than, the sides coming down right here, they kind of curl up into flames, and the top kind of curls into flames.
No, I suppose you could pass for a very
And
small,
everything is kind of
stylish
red-colored.
elven boy. No,
You mean a very small?
very small, stylish elven boy.
Oh, I heard tall, stylish elven boy. I'm like, you mean very small? And she goes, "Is this what I'm supposed to look like? Will they let me in now?"
No, I mean, I suppose if you went with someone, they would let you in.
Why would I have to go with someone?
Well, normally very small ones are accompanied by older ones because they watch out for the little ones. And if they see one that's alone, they'll think something's wrong.
I know what it means to be a child. I'm not a child.
No, but you look like one.
I do not. I look like me.
You seem to be confused. You say that that's you, but then you keep asking us what you're supposed to look like.
Well, you keep saying I don't look right.
Now, if you had to pick anything, what would you look like?
Z sits down and she thinks for a while. I actually don't know where my picture went. Oh, it's up. She sits down and she thinks for a while and she thinks for a while.
Eats their dice.
I am eating my dice. I didn't realize you guys could see that.
Yep. Remind me never to touch your dice. Remind me never to touch your dice.
My dice go in my mouth a lot.
You're gonna like put grooves in there so they always roll a single number.
No. I just kind of roll it around on my tongue. And as she's thinking about it, she starts to slowly get taller.
Page 32, if I may.
Okay. Page 32. Okay.
1, it has the leaves for size comparison.
Okay.
And it's an elf.
Okay. So you're gonna pull up the that and you're gonna say, you know.
So this is similar to what you used to look like. Not saying you have to look like this, but this is what you used to look like.
Okay. It's notable that on the portrait that Snarg has, you actually have a portrait of Z without in adult form, without her cloak or face mask on. But as you're talking, she starts to get taller. Not a whole lot taller. She ends up at about 4.5 feet tall. And part of her, if you want to call it hair, starts to kind of lay flat and smooth, kind of tucked against her head, with another part of it kind of branching up. And the part that's kind of tucked against her head gets a darker color, a deep red. And the part that's kind of branching up and like almost like a floral thing over where her ear, like behind her ear, and then up back this way, starts to turn a really bright, crackly red with orange tips on it. And her face develops very distinct eyes. And right now the eyes, you know, they don't have any color to them. And below her face, you know, how she always wore the mask on the lower half of her face, she develops another mask. But instead of it being, you know, the tucked in mask like she had previously, this one is more like a veil. That has a flame pattern going through it and is very distinctly the same bright red and orange colors as the headpiece that she's got on. and she develops a bodysuit that the colors on it change and darken. Um, there's the main chest piece of it and the leggings of it turn the same, almost the same dark red color as her hair, even a little bit darker, almost like a charcoaly ash color. And other areas of it, the sleeves and the neck covering, they turn that brightish orange color to match the headpiece. And like I said, she grows some more. She's about 4.5, almost between 4.5 and 5 feet tall at this point.
Well, that's certainly passable and a lot closer.
Indeed.
Is that what you want to look like?
And she thinks again, and she sits there and she goes, I don't know. And as you're watching again, where is... I don't have picture. Where is it? Hold on, I gotta find a drawing. There it is. As you're watching, she shrinks down a little bit more to where she's about 4 foot even, and the really beautifully designed outfit and everything just kind of melts away in little flame tendrils that pop up, and she develops her flame aura again, and her feet, where her flame feet were, kind of harden into a charcoal color that have distinct mass. And as she's sitting there, she's hopped back up on top of the diamond chest, and she's sitting up on the diamond chest again, and she's kicking her heels against it, and you can see where she's kicking her heels against it, she's actually leaving smudge marks like you would if you were rubbing charcoal against something. And she's got like charcoal boots on, and charcoal, almost like charcoal leggings, but they're not solid, they're just chunks of charcoal that kind of go up. And she's got a charcoal rib cage that goes like around her rib cage, and she's got charcoal gauntlets on, and the tips of which are very bright molten red, and her hands are actually a little bit disproportionately large compared to the rest of her body. And as you're looking at her, you can see she has a distinct facial profile, but she has no actual facial features. There's what would clearly be a nose, but there's no nostrils. There's, an area that would clearly be a mouth, but there's no opening. There's where you would think there would be ears, but there's nothing sticking out. And where her eyes would be, rather than having eyelids or a whites of the eye, there's just a blue iris. No pupil, just the blue iris, no eyebrows. And her hair is just kind of this flaming montage that just kind of goes up, and it's got this same charcoal headpiece that wraps around and up behind it. And she goes, and once she's made this form, she goes, this is just me. Everything else is not.
I will say that one looks a little less friendly than the other one. I don't know. It seems like you look like whatever you want, whatever you feel like at the moment.
I think I've got a picture. Not finished. Yep. It's not finished. Is my camera frozen?
No.
Okay, it looks frozen on my end. Tell me if this is in focus.
Kind of. Oh, I can see about half of it.
Well, yeah, you only really need to see half of it. You're looking at the head here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Raise it up just a little bit.
Yep.
There you go. Okay.
With blue irises. And this part right here that goes back,
Yeah.
That's the charcoal bit. It actually comes out from where her ears should be, and it actually connects in the back. And all of this, all of the hair, including the part that's going down in the front, is all flame.
Okay.
I haven't finished making her true form yet.
So to be honest, Z, I think I like the last one better
Why?
because it looks like you're all burnt.
What do I look like? I just feel like me.
Well, we've got a mirror.
So Z goes and she hops down and she looks in front of the mirror and she goes, "Oh, yeah, I look like me."
I mean, if that's the one you're satisfied with, that's the one you're satisfied with.
Well, I don't understand what the problem is. Oni, do they need to make rolls against me? No, for now. Okay. Is there anybody nearby? Okay, that's good.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just saying that one looks a little bit unfriendly. If you're walking around people, you might want to stick to something else. If only for the time being, even if that is your true form, as you say. We do it sometimes. Guido does it a lot, except he just hides all of them.
Trying to be as diplomatic as possible. You look very nice. That's 27 on diplomacy.
I'm not gonna roll against it. That's that one that I just sent you was the other form, but minus the sword.
Okay. Yeah, see, I like that form better. You could actually walk around town in that.
And Z's gonna sigh. And when she's in this form, every time she talks, you still get hints and pieces of the snapping and the crackling of the fire, because her hair is actively on fire. In fact, all of her is still actively on fire. It's just she has a distinct form underneath the fire. And she's going to say, "Okay, if you insist." And she's going to turn around and she's going to mesh back into that form.
How easy is it to change back and forth?
It is a number of times to switch per day, of which I've used. I don't think I've actually used any of them right now because I'm still kind of developing form.
So I would say
Semi-difficult, especially right now. And it's hard
Right.
for me to maintain a form as well.
so. The second form with the charcoal, I'll say armor. Leave that as a battle form.
That is what true form is designed to do. Basically, from a spoilery perspective here, true form is the charcoal form. When I am in true form, some people have to roll something. He hasn't told me what against me, but basically, I have a note here that says disadvantage in true form. What that means, I don't really know, but I have disadvantage in true form.
Knowledge awareness.
What I'm getting out of that is that I have issues in social interactions in true form. But it also increases, being in true form makes me able to use my abilities. If I'm not in true form, I can't use my new abilities, of which you got the preview of 2. One of which didn't have a chance to go off because we killed him.
Right.
So if it's, I'll say, easy to switch between forms, if you have the veiled form as a social form and then the true form as your battle form, depending on how many times you can, switch back and forth per day.
Well, in
And
our
how-
experience, we haven't been in and out of combat frequently enough within 24 hours for that to really make a difference, I think.
Exactly. So, I mean, it seems logistically smart to do it that way, but
Yeah.
that's out of character.
Yeah. That's actually what it's intended to do, is for me
Okay.
to be in true form when I'm in a battle against, I don't know, a diamond golem or Garlin
As if that's ever going to happen.
Or Diamond Carolyn.
or diamond Garlin.
Imperial Garland.
Let's just go back to like Mud Carolyn or something.
So yeah, that's actually what it's intended to do. Like I said, the problem in the meantime is that Z right now has to. I'm assuming I'm probably going to have to actively roll concentration anytime I want to do crap with people to make sure that I don't start turning into fire. Yep, I'm going to have to roll concentration to be able to maintain my form. Now, the bad part about that is I don't have max points in concentration. I have a 9 plus 9 to my concentration.
I gotta be the only one who can go out of the inn again.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay.
The good news is that right now, while I can't maintain my form, if we could find a fledgling green mage... No, that won't work. Zeiss isn't around.
Well, they're already gonna have one with them anyway.
Not necessarily, remember? You can desummon your thingy.
Aspect.
Yeah, aspect.
True.
So if we had a green mage in the party...
Well, hey, we can all level right now, and everybody takes level in Green Mage.
Speaking of which, brother, do we need to level? We killed Garlin. How is that not enough exp to level us? Dude!
Go ask Ricard for a level. It's a big favor. Hey, alligator dude, can we get a level or something, man? Toss us a bone. Can weave levels, right? All right. Well, Z, you're welcome to stay with us. Did you have any? We're at the Spatial Temple. Did you have any particular plans here? I mean, I don't know if you've taken the trial yet, have you?
No, I haven't. I haven't taken the spatial trial yet. Actually, I've only ever done the whatever one it was that I passed in order to get Orator. Light? Was it light? Or was it air? It was air? No, it was light? Okay. Oh yeah, that's right, because you couldn't get me... I wasn't with you guys when you went to the air temple. And you couldn't... no, I wasn't with you guys when you went to the spatial temple either. Because you guys went there before you met me.
Yep.
Assholes. Snark didn't go to the spatial temple either.
Yeah, I did.
Wait, yeah, he did. Yeah, you did. That was right after you switched. Never mind. Never mind.
Yep, I have been there before.
Okay.
Have you already taken the trial?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Did you pass?
Nope.
can you
Yes, you can
Um,
retake them as many times as you want.
Okay.
Yes. I think we should do is like every round, just hop out of the temple and hop back in, continually doing that, then passing or failing.
Eventually, we'll pass it.
Well, no, it
So
doesn't
you
matter.
want
We
to
just keep
take
doing
the
it.
water? I mean, we're here. And Z's going to be like, I'm really interested to see how people will interact with me, and this is probably the best place for me to do that because, like, weapons aren't allowed here, and the Olthoi are, really nice, and there's a lot of Olthoi in the order, and anyway, she's going to go through like all sorts of very logical reasons with why this is probably the best place to, with her being the way that she is.
Stretch your legs, as it were.
Yeah, yeah. And like as you guys are watching, she's actively kind of half morphing out of her form. So like her feet are turning into charcoal again.
Concentrate, Z. Concentrate.
What? What are you talking about?
Focus.
Your feet are showing.
Oh. And they kind of morph back into the boots that they were previously. There's not actually much difference except for the fact that, the charcoal rubs off.
We'll help you out.
Start wrapping up. I'm getting tired.
Okay.
If you're not opposed, Snarg, I would be interested in knowing what your trial entailed, if you're willing to share.
Sure.
Later.
Yes.
Bedtime.
Yes. But actually, in character,
And Z kind of rolls over. She
it's
gets in her
getting late, so
blanket.
we should
She pulls the
probably
blanket out and she lays down. And
do that.
you can tell when she falls asleep that like she actually actively goes like into flamey form, not true form. She just kind of morphs into this little ball of flame, like she was previously, and it's kind of like crackling on the blanket, like up through the blanket. The fire is. It's not burning it. And the ice elementals are like curled up in her stomach, which looks really weird because they're just kind of they're ice elementals being enveloped in fire.
Somebody get a camera. Oh, wait.
I've got a painting kit.
So Snarg's sitting there.
No, actually, you know what? I will because I want. I'm trying to go into. I don't really know if this thing is Z or not. But I'll keep an eye on it. We should probably both keep an eye on it.
You want to do watches?
It sits up at one point and it goes, "Can I have last watch?"
You can sleep. You've probably had a busy day after being hit by Gerlin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
you need your rest.
Where's my gear?
It's right there in your bag.
No,
Right.
the gear I had on. I can't find it anywhere. It's not in my bag.
That got blown to bits by Gerlin.
It absorbed most of the damage for you.
We're gonna keep this going. Yeah.
Keep trying to lie to me.
It sounds
just-
legit. What?
It's true.
I mean,
That's what
How
armor's
else-
for, right?
right. How else would you explain it?
So
Since-
she's gonna pop up and she's gonna go, no. I got this. I can do last watch. I just need 8 hours. I'll be good.
No, we'll have plenty of time. Trust me. You sleep.
Yeah. I'll sleep for 8 hours and then I'll be up and I'll take over for whoever's watching at that point.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
Because, yeah.
Okay.
So you take the first 4, I'll take the second 4, and then that'll be the end of the night.
Right.
Okay, I'll take morning watch.
You can make us some tea in the morning. That'll be nice.
Okay, I'll go into town and get us some breakfast.
You know what?
I've got some rations. I'm good.
I do as well. Man, I think we'll
No,
be
no, no,
good.
no, no. No, I'm gonna go get us some fresh eggs. Just over at the temple. I'm sure there's somebody selling them over there.
Probably. We'll all go in there together, though. How about that?
No, you guys will be. I got this. I got this.
No, trust me. Sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep tonight, and then I'm gonna go get us eggs for breakfast.
Wake
We'll have
us.
eggs
How
and
about you wake us
bacon,
up? How about you
and I
wake us
think I've
up
got some
first?
potatoes in my bag.
You know what? You know what? You do that. You wake us up first, so we can start the fire and everything.
Yeah, and somebody has to be awake to watch the chest. Those things are expensive. Did I tell you how much those are worth? I think
Yes, you did.
a lot.
A lot. So, you get some sleep for now. Lay your head down.
Okay. Where's Ricard when you need him to sleep 20? The thing.
Yeah.